Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
As unbelievable as it sounds, this is another Arsenal podcast. That is the Away Gooners podcast. We bring news and reaction from Arsenal fans from all over the world.
Hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Away Gooners podcast. There are some things that Arsenal fans go through, right? Like there are happiness, which is very rare, and then there are sadness, which is constant, and then there is absolute shit feeling that happens from time to time. And that is how I would define what happened against City. We all had really low hopes for the City game, right? Bob mentioned 3-0 to City. Arun and Deepak mentioned 2-0 to City. But then Arsenal kind of like went, oh, you guys expect this? We'll go even below that, right? It has been a couple of days since the game, Arun. So I have come to a different kind of place, right? I'm still disappointed. I'm still gutted by it and all, but not at that moment where I was going like, fuck this club. I don't know why I'm supporting it, or I don't know why I'm still putting myself through this trouble. To now, like, okay, yeah, defeat happens. So have you reached that spot yet?
I think I have been in denial for a while now. Not denial, sorry, acceptance for a while now. Denial is the first step. So I've been in acceptance for a while. Maybe that's why I don't see it as a surprise anymore, because I've seen like a lot of things before, like starting with the 6-1 against United at Old Trafford, 8-2, 6-3, 5-0, 6-3, so this is definitely not something new. And I don't think though we did predict the scorelines to be 3-0, 2-0, I think that was the conservative fan inside us hoping that Pep would go easy on his disciple and not really unleash what he did. But then he really didn't have to unleash anything really, right? It was all our own undoing. So yeah, no, I wasn't really surprised, if you ask me. But I'm smiling. I don't know if you get beaten a lot, and if you are in acceptance state, probably nothing seems to phase you anymore. I think I am there right now.
That's but the whole Twitter universe or the whole social media universe of Arsenal fans is in complete meltdown. Like this is something that is it is unprecedented. Starting the games and all that. In this sense, where we have not scored a goal, we have had the 2%, 8% possession in the second half. Is it? I think. Yeah, they had 92 or 90% of possession and stuff like that. But if that is the case, Deepak, so there are two sides, right? We expected a loss from these two games. I mean, Chelsea and Manchester City are the UCL finalists, the Champions League finalists of last season, and Arsenal didn't make UEFA Conference Cup, which is a new European Cup, third-tier European Cup. Arsenal didn't make that. So putting into context, the loss is acceptable, right? But the nature of the loss is what has driven a lot of negative factors to it. Can you put those two into two different boxes, or is it something that is no, this box affects this?
Of course, that box affects this, right? How you perform also matters. Like how you go on to lose a game also matters. It's not like you fought hard and okay, you lost it. Okay, chin up, move on to the next match. It wasn't the case, right? In these two games, as I said in the group, we just bent over, they smacked in our ass, and we got it, and we were happy with it. So it wasn't what to say. Even for Manchester City, everyone was surprised with the team selection. It was okay, I have these 11 players. I'll put them in the team and let them do any shit they want. That's how it was. So for me, I am numb right now. I don't have any more feelings. That's it. Whatever you guys play, let me watch.
See, that's the part that doesn't, the people who are outside doesn't get it, right? Especially when people ask you why you go through this week in and week out,
Yeah.
when you know that this is going to happen. Uh, but again, right?
And same thing. My wife like woke up when I was watching the match. My friends had come over. He was a Chelsea fan. He was watching with me. He was like laughing all the time. But my wife woke up around at like 11 o'clock and she said like how much you lost by. She didn't even ask like did you play well? And I told her final. She was surprised. Oh, okay. I thought that at least she had some hopes you would lose by 1 or 2 nil, but she was like final. Okay.
But again, Bob, right? Like the audience reaction or the Arsenal fans' reaction has been extreme to this loss. I think like Arsenal has been perpetually in the state of like three games is what defines whether Arsenal is going to be feeling good or going to be in a case of chaos, right? The whole Arsenal universe. If you consider if you take out the factor that there was a season break in between, and if you consider the whole thing in like last season end and this season end together, last 5 games we won, and then first 3 games we lost. So of the 10 games that we played, that's 5 wins and 3 losses, and 2 of the losses came against UCL opponents or UCL finalists. So
yeah, so I think the last season, the games that we won, that's not really a reflection of what the team was and how the team has evolved or how the team has regressed in a bad way. Those are 2 different seasons, and every game, I mean, especially towards the end of the season, some of them doesn't matter at all, and we might be in a better shape and form that we've been able to perform at the levels at that point in time. And it's not comparable. It's a brand new team, it's a brand new season, and we have to start from zero as like others. And we've not been able to, even move to a neutral gear, leave about going to a first gear or a second gear. We've not been even able to go neutral. We're going backwards. A tweet really summed up the situation at Arsenal. Under Arteta's Arsenal, it takes a lot of things for one thing to become right, to score one goal, but it just takes one little thing for things to go completely wrong. I mean, which was purely summed up in the game that we saw. And what I felt, with Shaka's red card, I'm sure we'll be talking about that, but I was just thinking it as an alternate theory, just to actually boost myself. Probably he would have gone to his first in command captain Xhaka and then asked him to deliberately get a red card, so that would actually mask some of the results, because you won't believe me, but the result or the date that we played against City coincided with that famous 8-2 against United 10 years back, and that actually resulted in a mad rush of 5 signings that we did on the deadline day. So I don't know. I felt probably he would have really whispered, "Do your thing," and then get a red card. Probably save ourselves some better headline. But even before that, we were desperate back to the grounds, and I think it was just a secret ploy again by Guardiola to let his former people go without embarrassing much. Because had he scored a lot of goals, then Arteta would be out of job. And then people would actually find our games more tougher to play.
But the only other side of it was that I saw another tweet that said like the only thing that is impossible in the 8-2 is us scoring those 2 now.
Yeah, of course. we needed to have scored those 2 goals. Yeah.
Right? It seemed impossible. But getting back to the game, Deepak, I'll start with you on this one. Right? Getting back to the game and to the formation or to the players that was picked. I get the problems with the club, right? There is no sense of direction. We have not had one set like of formation or 11, or we were expecting a back 3 against Chelsea, and we didn't get a back 3 against Chelsea. And then we go to City and we get a back 3, but again we get Kolasinac in the back 3 with with who else was playing? Holding and Chambers, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, and Cedric playing the right back out of nowhere.
Cedric played the right on against Chelsea as well.
Right, and I don't get the whole idea of what is happening here, right? Like what is because all we seem to be signing are players at the back. We have signed Nuno Tavares, we have signed this Ben White guy, we have signed Aaron Ramsdale, we are signing this right back, which we will talk about in some time. So we are signing all the players at the back. We have last season we got Gabriel, which is again at the back. So Mari was a back four signing. All these players we have signed to be playing at the back, and then we play completely irrelevant players at irrelevant position at the champions of Premier League. Like we are going to Etihad and we are playing this team. There are some cases where it is forced and everything, but still playing Kolasinac, who seems to be on the way out, doesn't make any sense. And I'm saying this in with a caveat that he was not the worst defender on that day.
Yes, definitely.
He was not the worst defender on that day, but I'm just saying like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I have no explanation for that as well. Like, why would you even pick a player who you are ready to sell? And if you're playing him, you definitely know you're not going to win, and you won't get any value out of it, even if you want to sell it. His value is going to reduce, obviously, seeing at the performances which we have. So I don't know. Like for me, the biggest problem was the midfield. Why would you even start Odegaard and ESR in such a deep position when they are a number 10? City simply passed around them. They couldn't do anything, and then they were like straight away against Holding, Chambers, and Kolasinac, who we know are not good at one-on-ones or like anything. So that's what happened. They just passed around Odegaard and what ESR, and Shaka was left alone. You know how mobile Shaka is. He can't do it when it comes to running and tackling players. So pretty much the idea was good, but the personnel was wrong. You should have either played Lokanga or Elneny and like pushed ESR and or just Odegaard, any one of them, and you should have dropped like any one of them and had Elneny or Lokanga play there. But he completely messed up there as well. So yeah, the team selection was really bad. That was the only reason not only reason, that was the reason. At least we could have like given some fight, even though we might have lost final. This was like, it was like so easy for City. They didn't have to do anything. Like Gundogan going and scoring a header, I don't know. Whatever, like even after, let's leave that, like scoring a header is fine, but they were looking like scoring goal like every single attack they had. If it wasn't for Leno, we might have conceded 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
So I have a couple of things on that, right? Like to play Xhaka as the screening midfielder, Bob, right? Like to play Xhaka as the screening midfielder, especially we know Xhaka's tendency of, like Arun actually pointed out in the last pod about like Xhaka being the main man, and he did become the main man, like by getting a red card, right? And also a lot of things. Playing him as the screening midfielder, as the single player who's going to shuttle between and screen everything, that is never going to work. Not on paper, not on anywhere. We have never seen Xhaka with the qualities to do that. In fact, we have been saying the opposite. Like Xhaka doesn't have the qualities. Let's bring in someone who has that quality. That is what we have been saying. And Xhaka has. We have done enough Xhaka slander in this podcast on all this. I don't want to put all the blame on Xhaka. It's not like his red card is the reason we lost 5-0. No, we would have lost 5-0 even if he was playing. That was the nature of the game. That was.
I think we started playing well once after he got red carded. In all, humble opinion.
Yeah, but again, right? Like, but as a player, what I'm talking about is like Xhaka has not given us anything. Like he is a very good player on his very good day, but on the other days he's a very average player who gives a decent enough performance, but he's always having this this kind of a moments in him. And this is not just one moment. He has got a red card. Now he's going to get like three game ban, and then he's going to come back and he's going to play a couple of other games that is going to give us like a sense of like, oh yeah, he's decent, right?
Yeah, so if you put Xhaka and David Luiz in a scale, it won't tilt either way. It's very hard for you to understand what's going on in their heads, when they're going for such a game or such a tackle. It was suicidal, right from the start. He was nowhere near to winning the ball there. All that he went for is just other player's foot. And I mean, he just have to be lucky enough that he just got away with the red card and then not any further penalties. But yeah, I mean, to Deepak's point, I think in the first place, our best players in those first two games were Lokonga, and him not starting. I don't know what was happening. I was just really trying to think through what would have been running in Arteta's mind as such, when he put forth such a team against City at Etihad, when all odd against stacked against Arsenal. It's very difficult to even think of and draw parallels to see what he would have really saw that in training or what he would have thought of. I mean, in my opinion, I would have even put Maitland-Niles there. I mean, despite not playing for a long time, I would have put him in that position for argument's sake. I mean, that's not going to happen. But he should have stuck with El Nene and Lokonga in the midfield to have at least some chance. I'm not saying drop Xhaka, but make him the pivot for everything being completely misfired.
That I kind of like had a good feeling of the start actually, Arun. Like when the game started.
Really?
No, I mean when I saw the team play, when the game started for the first, I think 5 minutes or something, we had a positive start. We kind of were on the front foot and stuff, right? But then the attack kind of fizzled, and the other part of it is, right, like our front three or front four, whichever is the part that we think as the potent part of Arsenal. Like we have our talent there, right? Like Saka, ESR, Odegaard, Aubameyang. This is supposed to be the Arsenal talent, right? But they had nothing to do. I mean, I get it. We didn't have a lot of possession and stuff in the second half, but even in the first half, there is a lot of they are not doing a lot. Like Pepe was always slandered that he was not defensive enough to be playing on the right side. Arteta wanted him to be more defensive. I didn't see all these like other four being defensive enough too. They are not pushing. They are not pressing. At one point, I saw Ederson like standing at the end of his goal area and with the ball, like saying like, "Come and get it." And no one was pressing, right? Where is the pressing that was the idea? Where is that pressing gone? Where is the playing out from the back gone? Because all I saw was Leno pushing everyone forward and then punting up balls. So I'm trying to grasp the idea of what this team is.
I can understand why you feel that way. I mean, like whatever we saw as positives from last season have all disappeared now. We were talking about the defense not letting in goals. Well, it was like also, like it was sort of like at the same time balanced by us not being able to score goals. Now we've gone worse. We're not able to score goals. We're not able to defend our goals either. I do not know where that gameplay has gone. I do not know why we are not being able to press. Honestly, like you were mentioning that we stopped attacking. We did not stop attacking. We were forced to stop playing football. That's what it felt to me. Like, the thing is, like, I didn't watch the game live due to a small alarm mistake. I actually had to watch the replay. And when I woke up and I saw the scoreline, I was actually happy that I didn't have to, wake up early in the morning on a Saturday and go through this. So when I was like the pressing part that you're asking about, right? We were thinking of a midfield pivot that would prevent any sort of City attack coming through, and that was the whole point of having Xhaka and someone else go with them. when that is not present, I am not sure why the attack, like the whole point of uh, having that was to give your attackers more freedom, right? So they do not really have to like worry about the pressing part that we're talking about, the defending part that we're talking about, because when you have a midfield double pivot, that is supposed to prevent anything from going beyond that, right? So then we have Xhaka and Odegaard, and I don't know what sort of a decision that was, but the ball never progressed to our side. Like they just fell flat. I am actually, you know what, I really don't have an answer. I've been like trying to think of something as I'm speaking for the lack of press, but I am really not able to think of it. The more reasons I'm trying to give, the more it seems like that is something that should have been done, and that is how we should have been set up. But we did
I
not
think,
set up that
yeah.
way.
So, yeah, I think what baffles many of us is the fact that what looks quite obvious to most
Obvious,
of it,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, and how differently could people at the club look at from what the rest of the world sees? What
that's the
is
thing. Like
quite.
the more I thought about it in my head, the more I'm like, really, like this is so obvious to me at so early in the morning. Why is it not so? Why is it so difficult for them? You know. So that's why I really don't have an answer, because so like if the way in which we are supposed to be set up was for that press.
The other part of it that I'm very worried about is like all the games that we have played from the preseason till now are defending at set pieces has been shambles, literal shambles. Like when Gundogan scored that goal, not just him, right? Like even the other Ferran Torres goal was from a set piece. With the new set piece coach, we saw it in the Brentford game, we saw it in the preseason. We are seeing this so much with the new set piece coach. We are getting this set piece not set up. With the new goalkeeper coach, our goalkeepers are regressing. What is this coaching team doing? Right? Literally, that's my question. And you just mentioned, Bob, like this is something that looks for an audience that looks like, okay, this is what is going wrong. Why are they not able to see it?
Actually, just before the first goal, just before that, Gundogan scored the first goal. Xhaka was constantly pointing to Tierney to fall back and then possibly protect his flank, and he was constantly asking Tierney to fall back, and exactly they scored from there. I probably felt that Xhaka had the vision to look at that, but then I didn't really understand how it was more like a schoolboyish defending. I mean, you could say they were lucky in a way that, I mean, it tucked into Leno's hands, but still it went in. It could have on any other day, bounced out or something. Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to talk about every mistake that we did, because I felt as if the team really didn't have any idea at all what they were doing. They were just like standing for the sake of playing that they should, and they were just coming out with it. I mean, I don't really see any intent there, which is what is more baffling. And in terms of my long history of supporting this club, I felt the game was like a watershed moment. Never before have I felt so low. I mean, there's been a lot of lows that we've seen and experienced, but in terms of the direction, in terms of the overall direction, in terms of what they are trying to do, what is that they are trying to achieve out of a game or out of a season, I felt absolutely nothing at all that day.
So but let's put a lid on that game. I just want to add a couple of things before we close on the game, right? Like especially about how Bob was touching upon. He was saying that we might we our players actually felt meek. Even we predicted a loss. Does this kind of like fan mentality and all this like mediocrity has creeped into the players? Like even before the start of the game, are our players thinking like, yeah, we are not going to win this game? Anyone who wants to take that? Arun, do you want to take it?
Eh,
Oh,
yeah,
Deepak, go.
good.
Probably, yeah. Looking at the way they are playing, like with no sense of direction or something, it feels like that they are like okay, anyway we are going to lose. Let's do something and move on to the next game. That's how it really felt in the Manchester City game.
Mhm.
When Shaka got the red card, we could have properly organized our midfield. We could have removed someone like ESR or Odegaard. It was like, okay, let's continue with the same thing and see what happens. That's how it felt really in that game. Yeah, so probably it is getting to them as well.
And all this
But honestly, yeah, it did seem like that. But what surprises me is the fact that we are being filmed. We are being
yeah.
filmed. And don't you think that that would be some sort of motivation for the players? I mean, like the entire world is going to see what happened behind the scenes. So shouldn't they be thinking, oh my God, it's not just me or my family, the entire world is going to see this. Should I not be like trying to do something different? Like at least for that sake, wouldn't they be thinking I should be doing my basic duties as a defender properly? I should track, I should defend. Because if you really see, they're making like clowns of themselves. And it doesn't just end with us watching them making clowns of themselves on the pitch. We are going to see the jokery part of it, like whatever happens behind the scenes as well. So it's all clowning around all around. So that's what like surprises me. Like, how can these guys? What more motivation do you need?
All or nothing. The documentary that's going to change.
I really don't understand. I
I
really
think,
don't
see, I
understand.
think I most certainly feel there are so many things which are happening at the back of the club that we are not aware about. Um, I mean, players' attitudes and the way that fractured relationships, rumored relationships. I mean, which has been reflective of some of these things. I noticed a tweet as well from our former player Mesut Ozil gathering a lot of attention. The cryptic tweet that he did,
He is like the Joker. He thrives in chaos. He just is like, yes, this is my time. And also, I saw that tweet from somewhere like where he is preparing a media where he's going to talk about his last years with Arsenal and all what happened behind the scenes. Yeah, there are
pocketing 350 million a week
and playing
certainly.
Fortnite and playing Fortnite.
Yeah. No, yeah, of course. There's so much things which you are not aware of, right? And right now, what is in front of us is just a game that we saw, and we are trying to get in terms with what could have potentially happened. We're just trying to articulate ourselves, but we are failing miserably because none of us could really think in terms of what would have really happened in those players' minds or in the manager's mind. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, the more that I think about it, I don't really have even a possible explanation to really talk about from a logical perspective. Things could have been much different had the result been a little different, but of course it didn't. So we just have to talk about what is in front of us.
Waiting for that documentary. It would be like the best reality show, I guess.
Arsenal brings entertainment. But one more thing that actually irritated me was Pep going, so good. He's so good. And going on about Arteta like he's some master. And he's like, yeah, you guys don't
That's
see.
what. So every manager, as I said, will be sparing some thought for Arteta because had it not been for Arteta, I mean, they would find it tough on Arsenal to face probably. So yeah, so they're just sparing some thought because they'll potentially get 3 points, right?
It was like so similar, right, to that 8-2 defeat. That game, Sir Alex Ferguson, he interviewed saying he feels sympathy towards Arsene Wenger. It showed like he doesn't see him as a true rival. It's the same case right now. It's just Guardiola talking about his friendship or his mentorship for Arteta, saying he's good, fuck off.
Yeah, I know. And I hate hearing him going like, no, he's so good. Like, fuck off, Pep. For fuck's sake, you put 5 passes and like you hold 92% possession, right? What is so good about that, right?
I read a stat. It says Arsenal lost that 8-2 game having United had 25 shots and we had 20 shots. It is kind of a freak result. Whatever United scored, it went inside.
Yeah.
But in this game, City had 25 shots. We had one shot.
When did we have that one shot? Oh, the Ederson rebound, is that considered a shot?
Probably, I guess so.
I do not remember. Now I don't believe this stat guy. I don't remember one shot. Where did that shot come from?
The ghost shot.
Fuck shot, seriously. There was no shot. Literally nothing was happening. Like nothing past our like the half line mark was happening for Arsenal. So yeah, well, it was very very much the. I think that is the end of my patience with talking about that game, literally. But let's do other things. There has been problems with AMN's Instagram. Arun, I'll touch upon because he's your favorite, player. With his attitude, you love his attitude. So I just want to bring that up on you. The way he has tweeted or Instagrammed or whatever that shit is. So what is happening there?
I think like this is like one of us posted in our group. Neither of them is a saint in this situation. Like neither Arteta nor AMN is a saint in this situation. As a footballer, you're supposed to be professional, and I am disappointed because like whatever it could be, however the club could be treating you, this is the club that you like actually like you came up from the youth academy. Right, you're supposed to be behaving a little more professionally than the others because there's a lot of how would you say like more eyes on you because of the fact that you are a Haaland graduate. So I was very disappointed with the tweet, but that also showed us like how messed up things in the background are. Like there seemed to be no real clarity as to what this guy is going to be doing. What is the plan what is the club's plan for this guy? Like we wanted him to play as a right back. He didn't want to play as a right back. We didn't have a CM position. He went on a loan. He played as a right back. He played as a CM. All of a sudden, he plays as right back for England, and now he wants to play right back. And the manager doesn't want to play him anywhere. Whereas we know that, like, as a right back, I think he would do definitely a better job than what Chambers or Cedric do. Like even better. So I really don't know. I mean, like in terms, it just for me, it just seems like it shows the problems. That we've been like so hard, trying so hard. The club and the people around there are trying so hard to put a lid on, but it's just like whenever you try to put a lid on one of the problems, another high pressure problems just blows up. It's all like it seems like the stars are all aligning for this All Athletics season documentary to be the best ever. Everything that's happening around seems like that. Like I do not know why a player would actually go out and post something like this. Especially like I said, a Haaland player, and why has the recruitment team pushed it to an extent that one of our own is doing this to us? It's not like
this is after the fact that they rejected a initial bid of 15 million.
Billion, yes. So all these English players that we call as our core players are having offers, but due to something or the other, they're not able to get a better opportunity elsewhere or here. And if we are not able to give better lives for our own graduates, I don't know like what is the ideology of the club? Like in the past, even if someone was not able to make it at our club, we would make the future certain for them. There was never a situation like I don't think this has happened before. Like Frimpong hardly played anything, but still we were able to find something for him. Wilshere, we were able to find something for him. This fact that we were not the impasse that we are finding ourselves with players from our own academy and them being pushed to this extent is very worrying for me. Like this is the biggest worry factor right now.
Deepak, also there is news of some kind of Arsenal breaking news that's going to come up, and there were rumors floating around like saying that two of the players were in an altercation or some kind of a sexual thing that was happening on the training pitch or whatever. So all this news coming out of Arsenal at this point of time, especially, or is this expected? Right, like club that going through this with all the dirt that would come up, or is it like all the dirt are coming up because the club is going through this?
It is like Right now Arsenal is like a reality TV. That's what I said. Like whatever news it comes, like it gives you traction for you in Twitter. Whatever you post bad or good about Arsenal, right now you get traction. People like lap on to things like that. So yeah, obviously people want to do like tweet nonsense about Arsenal. We don't even know whether it's true. But if you see that tweet, it would have got some millions of retweet or likes. So good for him. You can cook up any rumor right now with Arsenal, and people will lap it up like that. It's down to how the season has started for us, and how poor we have been. So all those things have like magnified everything about Arsenal. Everyone is seeing like with the magnifying glass. These kind of stuff like AMN like tweeting about things. Every club has gone through stuff like that. What in this season as well, Kane refused to train with Tottenham, but no one like had a meltdown or something. Maybe Tottenham fans did, but it happens with every club. So yeah, when it happens with Arsenal, like everyone is interested, not just Arsenal fans.
So Bob, let's start with the transfer things of whatever has happened with Arsenal, whatever is happening with Arsenal. So Willian's out of the door, which seems like a big deal, and also like it. From reading about this, I don't know if it's a PR mission that is working on his favor or whatever, but the way he has exited seemed to be very, a very good way. Like
timely, yes.
Yeah, right. It seems to be better. Like whatever he has just said. Like let's part ways. I'm not going to hold you for the contract and stuff like that. So that seems to be a really good way to go.
I think so it's good on him, at least in a way that he is stored up the rest of the contract for the 3 years that he signed last year. So good on him. But the agent coming out and talking today as if like he's a saint, and then his client is as well a saint. Of course they tried to work out here with all good intentions, and then it didn't work out. Fair play to them for actually moving out. It should also be noted that agent did as well pocket about 5 million for him for signing up Willian for us. So agent is no saint either. So yeah, with Willian out, potentially as we speak, Real Betis is been progressing for Bahrain. He is undergoing his medical in London, after which he should be in a position to move there and join them. I think it's just an 1 year loan deal for now. There's no obligation to buy as far as what we have seen so far. One player who's coming into our team is Takahiro Tomiyasu, who's a Japanese international, 22 years of age, who's been playing in Bologna in Serie A. He's been touted by Arsenal and Tottenham since the start of the season, and when Tottenham has moved ahead in buying Emerson Royal from Barcelona, it made Arsenal's stance as well clear that they are going ahead for him. So it's not like someone who's been pulling out bunny out of a hat, I would say. He's been someone been looked at since the start of the summer.
You have to mention this important thing, Bob. Tomiyasu chose Arsenal over Spurs.
Oh, yeah, you could say that. Yes, so he can play both as a right back as well as a centre half. He gives us some versatility.
No need of versatility. Let him play in RB. That's it. I don't care if he's versatile or not.
Yeah.
All Chambers have been like having this run in this team is because of versatility. He is not good at anything. Let him, this guy, be at least good at right back. Enough right of back, this versatility nonsense.
Yeah, no, that's on the incoming signing.
So before moving on, what is the fee that we are touting about this guy? Because we have already been heavy spenders. So
20 million euros. That's the initial fee plus 3 million in add-ons is what is being reported out. That's the fee for him. He is strong in there, is what many of these reports. Of course, by now, if you open up Twitter, you'd be seeing about 100 compilations of why Tomiyasu is the right fit for us, and then how he improve us. But time would again answer us any of these questions that we're looking for. Again, one more person going out or player going out is Alex Ranasan, who's joined Leuven, a Belgium-based team. It's as well to be noted that that team is a sister club for Leicester, so we are just in a way doing a favor for Leicester. I mean, Leicester are doing a favor to us more in a way because they've taken on. So that's again one of the players moving. A quick note to our listeners that in terms of the player transfers to Turkish clubs that could potentially hold on for a little while longer, because technically Turkish window closes only on the 7th of September, so there might be potentially more deals to Turkish clubs even beyond the end of the English transfer window.
Mm-hmm. And any more outgoings? Like, are we talking about any of Eddie and Ketia, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, or any of the others?
As of now, nothing has actually started up anywhere. Of course, there is still somewhere to go. We've still got about 10 hours to go as far as the time of recording. So there could, I'm guessing potentially there will be deals as well for Maitland-Niles to go out of the club, because with Tomiyasu that we are signing, he might be let go. So there might still be some goodwill is what I think of, and then he might be, let go. How that's going to happen, I'm not sure. And then one other thing that I failed to mention, or two other things that I failed to mention, is the fact that our academy product, again, who's been playing in for our under 23s, Miguel Aziz, he has joined Portsmouth on a loan deal. Is a wonderful prospect to look out for at this point. So we just hope his loan at Portsmouth works out in our favor, and then he comes back as a stronger player. The other thing is Nelson could be on his way to Feyenoord. Again, as reported by many, it could be seen as a downward step in terms of his development, because 3 years before he was playing for Hoffenheim in a German league, which is far more technical and far more superior than the Ehrad. But yeah, we didn't really improve upon his performance there, and we didn't work on him as much. Had he not been playing in continuously, he could have at least been sent out on loan to other English clubs and then probably raised up his stock and value, but that didn't quite happen. So as a result, now I think he's at this point he's going in to Feyenoord, most likely on a loan. I've not seen anywhere reported that it's going to be like a loan plus obligation to buy or anything. So it's going to be a simple loan to Feyenoord.
Okay, yeah, that's. I think we would listen more about the transfers in the coming part. So, anyways, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining in today. Hopefully, this is not going to be a regular where we kind of come in and like grumble about Arsenal. Hopefully, after the international break, it's going to be all rosy, right? Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining in. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.